Hey YouTube, this is Trish Picker coming at you with another cooking video. This time I'll be making chicken mole. I did the deboning, deskinning, or not deboning, deskinning and breaking down a whole chicken. I didn't want to do that on camera, but there is that. And what I'm going to do is everybody does their mole different, so let's get that out of the way. What I do is I pre-brown my chicken, put in my crock pot, because this is one of those crock pot meals. Okay, so I just put, gosh darn, tickety-tock clock again. I just put salt and pepper on my chicken, because with all the other additional spices that are going to be going in it, I don't want it to get too overdone. And instead of where it requires water on most people's recipes, I use chicken broth because I think it makes it a better flavor. Okay, so let me get my pan started. And I don't have an overhead light anymore, so that's that. So we'll move you over to the pan. And I got chicken galore here. So it's probably all not gonna fit. I don't expect it to all fit in the one pan. But what can fit, I'm gonna get in here first. Let's get some salt and pepper on here. And remember, every dish that I make, it's salt and pepper to your taste. Most of it will say like a teaspoon to tablespoon of salt and pepper. But for me, that's usually never enough. Okay? So, those are cooking. I'll get some tongs out right now so we have them. And I'll put those in the crock pot, because once they're cooked off. And then what I do is I'll move back, because these ancho chilies, you have to take the seeds out and the tops off. Okay? I don't cook them with the seeds on in there. Some people will, some people won't. I'm not one that won't. I'm not one that won't. The other thing too is variations off of recipes. Some people will call for 3, some call for 5. I do as many as I feel like, so I'll put it in my description below how many of everything that I've used. I'll just pour them out for now, and then I'll give you a final count when I there's usually not a lot of, and I don't know why that is, but there's usually not a lot of seeds. See, and a lot of people will cut it open with some scissors. For me, and I cook mine. Typically, people use water. I use mine with chicken broth. Okay, I think that enhances the flavor because chicken moles should taste like chicken and mole, not watered down mole. And my light busted out or burnt out, so I'll put about a cup of chicken broth for now. If I have to put more, I'll put more. Okay. And I'll move you down just a pinch so you can see what I'm doing with these chilies. And I'll keep these stems so I can tell you exactly how many I used. Oh, bring this chicken down a little bit. It's going a little wild on me. These chilies are a little bit fresh. Because you mainly just want to brown your chicken. You don't want to fry your chicken. Okay? Don't do that. You want to make sure that it's nice and brown, but not fried, because it'll get dried out. Okay, so there's two. Oh yeah, these are severely dried out, so I'm definitely gonna have to strain these bad boys because they're either severely dried out or severely moist, where there's no seeds coming out. So I'll just strain it extra well. See, and that's the other reason why you want to not just say, I'm only going to use this many of chilies, because see how little I got of chilies. I may just use this whole pack. I don't know. Whatever feels right. But break off the end, and if you can, and the stems, the little seeds come out, that's even better. But if they can't, just strain it out, because you have to rehydrate them, and I do that with the chicken broth. See, this time these came out real good this time. Because for some reason the seeds all stay at the top. I don't know why that is, but they do. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'll probably add about 2 more. And I can't remember, other than my when my daughter was ate meat. Both my children are meat eaters, but my daughter went vegan. And you can do this with tofu too, so it can still be turned vegan. But my other child loves this stuff, and this was, I try to make, yeah, I'm just gonna do them all, forget it. So I'll definitely put it in the description below how many chilies there was before I throw them out. And I'm going to have to add some more broth, because that's not enough broth. Ouch! I just caught myself on the gosh darn. chicken. Chicken don't want to be nice. Okay. And I'm going to put a tablespoon of garlic, and then I'll cut up some onion too. One heaping tablespoon of garlic. And I'll give you a peek of the chicken in a second. And I gotta cut up some onion. And I have the mixer right there, because you put it in a mixer and blend her all up. I gotta count those. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. But I don't know if that's technically an accurate count, because one of them I know was really tiny. So about 16 little ones. I could have bought the bigger ones, and no fuss, no fuss about that. And then I'll cut up some onions. Let me get some more of this broth in here. Let me get a paper plate. Normally I do it on my cutting board, but I'm just going to do it on a paper plate. Okay, and you want to put about a half an onion in with your chilies and garlic to boil or rehydrate. Whichever you want to call it. You can call it boil or rehydrate. The correct term is to rehydrate them. But all this is going to get blended, so that's that. And we'll take a gander at the chicken. And these are almost ready. This one is not, but the other ones are almost ready to go in the crock pot. These breasts need a quite a bit more time. And some people don't like to do this. They just like to buy the shredded chicken or the chicken strips or whatever. And move that there. I'm going to put that onion away for now. Because usually I'll add more onion when I go to puree it. But the thing is when you do that, you get like a little bit of a raw onion taste. If you like that sort of thing, then yeah, by all means. And then we'll get over here to the mixer. Well, I start rehydrating the chili, the garlic, and the onion. And I'll put a little bit of salt and pepper in that to help the onions and all that stuff break down. Okay, that's that. Okay, so and this part, I put all this stuff in here first, so that when I add that, the chilies that I've rehydrated, and this is just diced tomatoes with jalapenos, okay? Some people will say use fresh. No fuss, no hush for me. And then it has jalapenos already in there, okay? And let me get my measuring spoon, because the other stuff you gotta properly measure. And I put the Hershey's cocoa, 2 tablespoons. Of that. Sounds like the chicken's getting out of control. Okay. That one can go in there. That one can go in there. Cumin is about a tablespoon, or 1 teaspoon, sorry. 1 teaspoon of cumin. And if you want it a little bit spicy, then add some cayenne pepper. If you don't do it. Okay? That's a personal choice. I took it out because I wasn't sure if I wanted to add it or not. And there's a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. That goes on now. and chili powder. Where'd my chili powder go? Oh, there it is. I grabbed the wrong one. I pulled out cayenne instead of chili powder, but I didn't use the cayenne. And this one is about 1 teaspoon. Okay, that's that. And then I gotta put the peanut butter in there. And put the rest of the chicken in the pan. And the peanut butter is usually about 1/2 cup. I use about 1/4 cup of peanut butter, 3/4 of a cup, because the 1/2 cup doesn't seem like it really like alters the flavor that much. And it's supposed to be chocolate and peanut butter. Oh, gotta add some salt and pepper to the chicken that I just put in the pan. I just put the last 2 pieces in the pan. And it's one of these. Oh, and that's the other thing that I add too. Some chicken bouillon. I put about 1/2 teaspoon of it. A little under half. Because like I said, between the chicken broth that I just used and that, it helps give that really good chickeny flavor. So let's get this peanut butter going here. And I don't suggest, and this is just a personal suggestion, to use crunchy peanut butter. This is my favorite, which is the Natural Jif Creamy. You can use whatever peanut butter you want, but I measure it out too to make sure that I put the proper amount, because it can go really super sweet on you. And there is some people that don't like their mole super sweet. They would prefer it a little bit more spicy. That's why I said if you want to make it a little bit spicy, put a little cayenne in it, but I don't think I'm going to have to do that. Okay. I don't know what to do with that. That's the only thing about peanut butter, is it sticks to everything. Okay. And of course, once you mix all this up with the rehydrated chilies, strain it before you put it into your crock pot, because some of those seeds that I couldn't get out are going to be in there. And not a lot of people like the seeds. No way. So all we're doing now is just waiting for the chicken to finish. And chilies to rehydrate, which they're doing really nicely right now. The onions are still not broke down enough for me to feel comfortable to puree them. And this gets really toasty warm. Oh, so that's all of that process. And that's one of the reasons I like this meal, is because you can put it in a crock pot. And I didn't use this cayenne. So for some reason I think it's going to be just fine, because I used the whole package of those chilies. Okay, all that's done. So all I have to do is wait for the, put the lid back on the peanut butter too. And some people will put clove, I don't. Because it gives it more like a fall seasonal vibe that I'm just not. And then I have the tomato soup or tomato sauce just in case that it's not saucy enough. Okay. So whatever you feel comfortable, like extras that you want to add to it that I may have not added, and I'll lift you up so you can see. Okay, so this I can put away now. This. So I'm going to take this off for just a second. Okay, and then what I do, because the chilies are a little bit hot, I kind of use the cold, blend it, then I add the additional hot. So I am going to need some of that juice because it's a little on the thick side. So let me get me a pot holder, because that particular pan gets a little bit hot. Okay. See how it's steamy? Steamy. And once I get done, then I'll move the chicken over and you can see how it goes. And I can tell that it still needs more blending because I can see that there's seasonings up the sides of the walls on this, and some of the chilies aren't broke down, so I may have to put some more peanut butter in there because it doesn't look like it's dark enough. It's a very light color. I'll give you a peek inside there. See, I might add either some chicken broth or some peanut butter. Let's see. Hold on one second. Okay, what I did, guys, to help with the color was I added some extra cocoa powder because from my understanding, and of course that's a personal choice, everybody is a little bit different. I like my sauce a little bit darker, then a little bit more like in the middle. Like I don't want it to be like dark, okay? And I know it's gonna get darker in the chicken when it's on the crock pot. So I know that can happen. So I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is having it have a nice flavor before I do that. Because you want to make sure the flavoring is right. And then I made my husband and myself together, pulled out an awesome teamwork of making some homemade refried beans yesterday in the pressure cooker, which that everybody nowadays, they can either do them in their air fryer, they could do them on a stovetop, they can do them in a crock pot. So I never record a simple thing like that. So let me pull this chicken over here. So you can see. There's that. And we'll lower you down a little bit so you can see what I'm getting ready to do. Fixing to do. Okay? So. And what I'll do to make sure all that's out, because sometimes that can happen, is just use a little bit of chicken broth. Don't mess it up with any other thing, because you're putting it on heckin'. And so that you can get all your little drippings out of your blender, is you just scrape it down with a spoon, which of course I had a feeling I was going to do that. Just scrape it down, and then when you go to stir it, it'll take out the little bit that it didn't get. Okay? And see how it gets a little bit darker every time? Just in that little bit that I poured on top, it went darker. So, then you put her on the crock pot, and if you want to eat sooner, put it on high, 4 to 6 hours, then you can eat. If you want to just make it in the morning, go to work, put it on low, 8 hours, it'll be good to roll when you get home. And then I'm going to make some Spanish rice, homemade, and we're going to have it with, you can have it with flour or corn tortillas. So, we're going to move it over to the crock pot, and we'll see you back for a taste test. Okay, now we're done with the rice. Ready for with the refried beans, the homemade Spanish rice, and then the mole's done, which I'm going to have to lift you up so you can take a peek inside there. There's the mole. See, I told you it was going to get darker, but I like to keep the lid on it, and I'm working on some tortillas right now. And I put some cheese on the there. And I'm gonna put some cheese on top of the beans. Okay.
Seemed really surprised, maybe, and he nods his head and says, "Good drugs." I just thought he was talking about all the medicine sitting next to him, from his diabetes medicine, and that's when he told me he wanted to give me his sailboat, so we hooked up his boat to the car and towed it to Clear Lake. It was a beautiful.
And then I'm gonna put some meat, which when you know what the meat's really done is when you can it falls off the bone. That's the best way for me to tell that it's done, because you pretty much are cooking it on the bone.
That's when he told me that he would have to kill me too.
And
I thought it was, okay.
that's what it looks like when it's done.
I'm out here all by myself. I really did. It flashed just for a second, and I thought, oh no.
Okay, ouch. And I usually give my husband about 2 tortillas with it, because usually you Tortillas eat this, but I also give them a fork. We're a little bit strange that way. So there's the tortillas. Now I'll make my plate and then we'll have a little taste test.
And they said no, that was a lie. They showed me the orange pepper and it turned a little darker. I was shocked.
Okay, now let's get to making my plate and then we'll have a little taste test. Yeah. No. My eyes are always bigger than my stomach. I don't know why I do that. I give myself extra. But I haven't had this in a long time. I used to make it like every week. And then you know, people can get tired of chicken, which a lot of times I'm one that would be like, nah, I never get tired of chicken. But I like chicken enchiladas. I like barbecue chicken. I like fried chicken. Like, there isn't too many chickens that I don't like. Haven't met one that I don't like or haven't ate yet. So, and I always start with a little bit and get more. Then start off with a lot and then have to put it back. So this is the way I do it for me. Whoa. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll take this. Woo! Tortilla's getting hot. Put this right here and put the lid back on my mole. Get my tortilla. Woo! And then we'll have a little taste test. Okay, I'm back from my taste test and I'm going to actually do the authentic way, which is a tortilla. Let me move you down a little bit more. Got to close up this. I have to close the bag of tortillas up. Okay. So what I do is I get a little tortilla, little piece of the tortilla, rip it off. Get a little bit of rice, a little bit of beans, and a little bit of meat. And make it a little small burrito, little bite. It's real good. I hope you guys give this one a try. I'll put it, like I said, I'll put everything that I put in this in the description below. Most Mexican Spanish rice, there's enough videos out there on YouTube. And if you don't know and you don't want to do it that way, they have a whole bunch of different boxed ones. I don't like it that way. And refried beans, fairly easy. Can be cooked in pretty much anything. So let's get a bite in here. Mmm. Mmm. Not too sweet. Everybody thinks it's really super chocolatey or peanut-y. This one just has a good overall flavor. See, all that extra. And that's the other reason why the extra tortillas help. Because you can scoop everything up and then get an extra tortilla and scrape up your plate. Mmm. If you don't like like licking on your fingers. Put it all in with a fork, okay? Remember, if you have nothing nice to say to somebody or about anything, don't say anything at all. And this recipe was for my son. This used to be one of his favorite meals. So this one goes to you, William. Mwah! Love you. Bye, everybody.